Now, for those Lakers fans out there, this is for you. Of course, I've witnessed last night's game involving the Brooklyn Nets versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And let me tell you something. If there wasn't a clear display after trailing by 12 and then it became a close quarters back and forth, and then getting dropped over by 20, and I called it around the third quarter. As soon as the second unit comes in, the Lakers are going to get exposed and outscored, out-hustled, and outplayed by the Brooklyn Nets. Guess what? Guess what, guys? They got destroyed by the freaking Brooklyn Nets. The Grizzlies against the one-seed Timberwolves put up a better effort. But not like that, man. Also, Pascal Siakam in his debut, not his home court debut, but it's still a performance debut, lost by 3 against the Portland freaking Trailblazers. 130 to 112. 18-point shutout. Around 3.5 minutes into the game, around 2.5 minutes, they put the garbage time players in. So, not Harry Giles, he's Jackson Hayes, Skielp, Maxwell Lewis, Rui Hachimura, Max Christie. The rotations are shit. I can critique on and on, but this has been a factor over rotational issues since even when Frank Vogel was head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. They are the most highly anticipated team that probably are a last-ditch effort franchise to even push over. Now they're 21-22 when they were coming in as prime contenders. And yeah, expectations over the offseason always doesn't comprehend to on-court performance. We've seen this with plenty of teams before. Even you can account that to the 2021 Lakers with Russell Westbrook. When they thought just having another ball-dominant offensive guy, instead of just an overall good basketball team, just doesn't always go over as the marquee picture in the front office. And how Darvin Ham probably has to try to construct a lineup like that is fair criticism, but also you can understand the frustration that goes around in the coaching staff when it comes to even trying to set up a lineup like this. When I was watching even the Lakers games, they were pushing over Cam Reddish to rotate over as a wing to be a catch-and-shoot defender. And, bro, every time the Lakers try to find garbage time players that became rotational fodder for journeymans like Cam Reddish, that I remember him as a Knick. It wasn't long ago. He was playing around the deadline until he got traded off for the Trailblazers, and I think he went over to the Lakers around the offseason. Was an impactful piece in the play-in tournament. And then his minutes diminished. They got outplayed by Dennis Smith freaking Jr. and Lonnie Walker with 15 off the bench. They were getting blow-bys over on Austin Reeves around the second half of ball. Catch and shoot was lazy. Taurean Prince is a defensive liability. Only person putting over work but is not ball dominant at all is Anthony Davis. Because they want to push over transition so much over to LeBron James. And I'm not saying LeBron James sucks, but I feel like there's so much that goes over to over dependence over LeBron James' ability that it hinders anybody else actually contributing actual ability over on the floor. If we don't see over the touches per game, bro, the only worst shooter on the floor was Dorian Finney-Smith. And that's not even his role. He's the only person out of the starting 5 that didn't average over 10 points. Cam Johnson, 2 for 4. Spencer Dinwiddie, 4 for 8. 4 for 8 was also Mikal Bridges, but he was outstanding in mid-range. Fading 2s over to the outside. Cam Thomas dropped 33 off the bench. It's embarrassing. And Cam Thomas is one of those players that he's an absolute bucket, but needs to develop an IQ. Thankfully for the youth, they have time for that. But he was shooting 30-foot jumpers over from the wing, corner threes, contested, finishes off the basket like it was no problem. Floaters over on the contact. Lakers were just getting favoritism over on home court over their foul calls. And bro, D'Lo gets a lot of criticism for his inconsistency, and I think that comes over to the criticism that he's developed his game to not even be that much of a primary option over on the offensive floor, but he still puts up at least a minimum offensive effort. I don't know what they're going to do around the deadline. I would say just let it die. Try to work on the future, because this ain't it. Had Jared Vanderbilt wasn't putting up as much time as Taurean Prince, because they are more dependent over on offensive field. They don't know what style of offense that the Lakers have. They can push up as competitive teams, but if it comes to blowing out teams, they're unconvincing. And I owe the Clippers an apology. I legitimately owe the Clippers an apology. They've been on a torrent run where they were at least fourth best, or I think still fourth best in the Western Conference since having a 6-game losing streak. And they've torn up teams like the Nuggets, the Pacers, with that game winner. James Harden just produces very well over in the regular season. They're now just 3 games below the Denver Nuggets at top 3 in the Western Conference. While the Lakers are trailing around play-in territory with the Houston Texans and the Golden State Warriors, just below freaking teams like the Utah Jazz. The only upside is they're above 21 wins that could still, spot that play-in confrontation. But if LeBron is really, or if the Lakers, but that's like the type of pressure you get whenever you're correlating over with LeBron, and the Lakers just can't work as an efficient unit where everybody is a role player except AD and LeBron, and they don't have their style figured out. And it comes over inconsistent rotations, poor inconsistent play, like 0 for 6 from Austin Reeves. He's a good finisher over on the basket, and he barely contributes. When it comes to moving over the rotations, bro, his shot selection is poor. He's too reliant over on the finish. He needs time to develop. He's way better over on the bench. That backcourt is way too inconsistent. D'Lo can have his moments. Don't get me wrong, he's not an all-star at any level anymore. But when it comes to where he can drop a cold 18, 16 points to 25 when necessary. But they need to know how to get the ball to Anthony Davis when pushing over on the roll. Attacking the interior should be the Lakers' strong suit than trying to just push long-range shot selecting when they don't have the guys for that. And they got some guys that are way better on the defensive role than the offensive role. Like Rui Hachimura shouldn't be getting the ball more than Anthony Davis. That's stupid. Christian Wood is so inconsistent over garbage time to starting level minutes, but they'll push him like 15 minutes, and then it's rotating back over with Hachimura at the 4. This is what's killing the Lakers, in my opinion. And it's just trash. Rotational issues, too hype of expectations, and there's already low morale if we haven't heard like opinions from D'Angelo Russell already. When it comes to how he truly feels about what's going on in the organization, how he felt about the play-in tournament, probably his future role over on the franchise, if he's even going to be sticking around this February. Even trying to get DeJounte Murray to update over their front court when they barely got a floor general, other than the guys that play in their forward position. That should not be how it works. I don't know what roster construction that even came from, bro. I feel like there should be some fodder that should be traded. In my opinion, just from this performance alone, but the Lakers been playing like this all season. Lakers itself been like this all season. Because they were pushing over Cam Reddish as well over in the starting rotation. And the guy is an inconsistent shot-making mess. And when he makes it, it's an important part of the game. It's not when it's consistently going up and he's dropping 34% from the field. Austin Reeves himself, I expect a lot more. Well, due to the hype over his upside he had around this postseason. But he'll come out dropping 14 to 19 points. And it'll just come around 30%. To a whopping 33. Currently, the season he's playing, and it's a young season. he's gotten, guys. I'm not going to try to push him off too much. But he's a starting 2 guard, and he's dropping 34% from the field as well. Over the last 18 he's started. So it's obvious that Reeves needs time to develop. He's a good finisher, energetic guy when he's hot, but he needs to develop. D'Lo, I feel like I don't mind him staying over on the rotation. He needs to stop hot potatoing over in the front office. Vanderbilt needs to be more of a contributing role on the defensive side. You already got Anthony Davis and LeBron James. They can pick over, but LeBron James right now at this point is a floor managing wing that can't defend. And I guess they need to stagnate over his minutes because he cannot be the best high percentage guy from the 3. Second to D'Lo. It's weird. I feel like there needs to be a more revolving space around Anthony Davis. He did drop 26. He pushed over 38 and he's like playing all-star level, but it feels like it just feels like there should be more performances like this from Anthony Davis. This shouldn't have been a blowout by the Brooklyn Nets the way the Brooklyn Nets have been playing overall against way better teams. But tell me how you guys feel down below. You feel like the Lakers should blow things up? That's always a half season conversation for the Lakers every season since LeBron's been on the team. Or you think they should stick to what they got and just try to make small adjustments over in their lineup so they can finally have a definitive team. Tell me how you feel in the comment section below.